Welcome to Community Producers, where volunteers in the community get to tell stories with our friends at Shaw TV. Now, it's not unusual for someone such as myself to tell stories, because I'm an actor. But not just any ordinary actor. I'm in the upcoming Keyano Theatre production of A Christmas Carol, where I'm playing Fred, Ebenezer Scrooge's nephew. But I'll have more information about A Christmas Carol very soon. But first, I must take you on a stroll through a winter wonderland.
Winter Wonderland has been running now for 4 years. This is the 4th year. Each year we basically took on a new theme. This year is Whoville. So this year is basically the Grinch. We've got half of one of the bays basically devoted to the Grinch. Last year we had added the Elves Playground, Santa's Workshop. The year before we added Christmas in the City, and the very, very first year was just the Winter Wonderland theme. With each year, hopefully, we're adding something new, something different. But yeah, who knows? To me, I find the favorite part depends on the people. Obviously the kids are going to quite like Whoville. Christmas in the City, you have some kids like that because we've got the movie theater in there. So, they're able to sit down and watch a movie. Usually we start 1st of September, and then we usually try and have it open, let's say the 3rd week of October. Through that time frame, we'd have usually about 7 people working on it. Not that every part of their day is 100% devoted, about 800-900 hours probably. The community, we find there's an absolute phenomenal response because it's something different. There's no greenhouses that we know of basically across Canada that have the same themed or same outlook on how they display Christmas. The Christmas season has come, it's gone, and then basically then we're into spring. So our next season then becomes spring. And as a month after we've taken it down in February, there we're starting to plant and seed for the next year. So then the greenhouse starts smelling more like a greenhouse with the fresh smell of dirt and seeding and transplanting as we start doing that. So for me, it's a nice feeling. Others are saddened by it. I think the staff and and my wife who spend the time putting it together are more saddened by it. I'm not the one there putting it together, so I can't take no credit for that.
Why, hello. Welcome back to Community Producers. Now, I promise to relay more information about the upcoming Keyano Theatre production, A Christmas Carol. This holiday season, Keyano Theatre welcomes back director Karen Johnson Diamond to direct A Christmas Carol. This wonderful holiday show is ensuring to leave you with love and with laughter. Opening night is November 24th at 8 p.m., with other showings on November 25th, November 30th, and December 1st and 2nd, all at 8 p.m., with a December 2nd matinee at 2 p.m. To grab tickets, visit KeyanoTheatre.ca. Coming up next, we go to Points North Gallery with Vanessa Chahan to look at some artwork that's on display right here in Wood Buffalo.
Points North Gallery hosted a new art showcase of local artists. First up, we spoke with Lucas Seward on his subjective pieces.
I originally started painting with bitumen a number of years ago, and I'm blessed with the success that I've had. It's been an incredible journey, and for me, what I've come to realize is that I respect this whole new freedom that comes with this resin work, and it's not to detract away from my paintings, because I love doing them, but there's a very traditional approach to the paintings. It's quite meticulous. It comes from a background where you're using very similar tools that you would with many other mediums. But the resin side of things is a completely exploratory process that there's no guide, there's no book, you basically are inventing yourself with every piece, and you're always surprised with the outcome. And I find that extremely gratifying. Basically, in a nutshell, my approach was to mimic naturally occurring oil. I think we're all too familiar with what site in manufacturing looks like. But for me, this was an opportunity to try to capture and encapsulate oil in a way that mimics that of Mother Nature. It's quite literally a depiction of my own journey, you know, and I've come to realize that like the child in me that just wants to explore and not necessarily think about the questions, you just do things, you know. If you want to play in the dirt and you want to smell things and you want to taste things, I think we start to lose that as we get older and we start analyzing why, you know, rationale and logic. I mean, there's many beautiful things that come from that, but I, as an artist, want to explore the more raw, kind of childish, you know, element of just seeing what happens, in pure curiosity.
Bill Martin was in the gallery as well and had one new piece that he was proud of in particular. It was a focal point for him for the whole evening.
This was taken in the Birchwood Trails, and it was a shot that I've been planning actually for several years. The reason being is I wanted to tie together, you know, the forest that everyone's familiar with here with the Northern Lights. And it was a difficult shot because I had to frame the photograph and wait for the Northern Lights to come to me. Usually you would go and point towards the Northern Lights. So it took a couple years before I finally got it right, but one night it all came together for me. The trees reaching up and the Northern Lights coming down, and kind of there I am in the middle between the sky, the heavens, whatever you want to call that, and the earth and where we live. And it's just, I wanted to feel like those two were just touching for a moment. And you know, sometimes the Northern Lights, they come right down on top of you, and it feels like it's a show just for you. You know, it was really rewarding for me to finally capture it. And what we went through last year was very challenging, and especially as a photographer coming back and having a completely different landscape. So yeah, it's definitely, you know, it's special to me to have captured it the way it was, but at the same time, the landscape has changed and we've got a lot of new growth coming into the picture. One thing that I've started to do is actually explore into aerial photography and looking at the forest from different angles. When you look at it from the side, you see the effects of the fire are obvious. But when you look at it from the top down, what you're seeing, kind of the inverse of this photograph, you get a bird's eye view of all the new growth and the new colors that are coming out of the forest floor. And so it's something new. Stay tuned. It's going to be kind of my next adventure. So.
To check out more local artists like Lucas and Bill, head to the Points North Gallery. For the community producers, I'm Vanessa Chahan.
Welcome back to Community Producers. Now, before we head to our next story, I want to quickly share with you some other events happening at Keyano Theatre. If A Christmas Carol isn't enough holiday spirit for you, don't you worry. We have a Christmas concert on December 11th at 8 p.m. performed by the Ennis Sisters. The Juno Award-winning trio brings their highly acclaimed holiday show back with Christmas originals and holiday classics. This is a family-friendly show with well-timed stories and folkloric recitations. Also, try out An Evening with Steve Patterson, a comedy show on Sunday, January 14th, 8 p.m. at Keyano Theatre. This is an 18-plus show starring Steve Patterson displaying his stand-up skills. And if that wasn't enough for you, Keyano Theatre will be showing Wes Baker, Stunt Magician, on January 19th, 8 p.m. for another 18-plus show. Wes's show will feature magic tricks, crazy stunts, crowd interactions, and comedy from start to finish. For ticket information, visit keyanotheatre.ca. It tends to be a grave concern during the holiday season to stay slim and trim, especially like me if you've been to parties with lots of food and drink. But with our next story with Cithara Fernando, you'll get nothing but healthy ideas.
So YMM Free Fit is a free workout group that meets once a week on Wednesday mornings. We meet 30 minutes, it's like a workout flash mob, and then we usually come for coffee and you go about your day. This idea actually started in Boston. It's part of the November Project movement, and we are hoping to one day become a November Project tribe. And basically what it was a couple of rowers who wanted to work out every day in November and created this, and now it's in over 40 cities around the world, and we're pledging to become one of those cities here in Fort McMurray. Locations are based on the types of exercises that we want to do, so you just need to show up, and it's minimal equipment, so we usually pick places that have stairs or benches, and we just use the environment. For the winter, we've been using a stairwell in a parkade. It just keeps people a little bit out of the wind, but yeah, it's still a really, really great workout. The workouts are geared towards like an everybody type situation. So anyone who wants to come, we can vary exercises, we can vary intensities. If you don't think you're fit enough to come, you're definitely fit enough to come.
Woohoo! Trying to remember to breathe.
Today it was stairs. We ran the stairs, we came back, we got together in the courtyard, and then we did burpees, push-ups, skipping, except for the skipping rope broke because it was too cold, but and then you go and do another set of stairs, and you do that for 30 minutes. It's always just this really positive, really energetic group of people, and that's the culture we wanted to build here.
Go, Warren, go!
We would like to see us get into the 50, 60, 70 people. I know Edmonton has over 200 that show up for their workouts. So yeah, we're hoping to grow big and get more and more people out. By far the hardest part is getting out of bed. Once you can get past that, the workout is great.
Welcome back to Community Producers, where community volunteers get to share stories with our friends at Shaw TV. Now, the holiday season is a great time to be merry, be hearty, and giving, which is what I love oh so much, unlike Ebenezer Scrooge, who is cruel and unkind and bitter. But enough about him. Let's go dive into the holiday theme and find out how the youth at Father Mercady School are helping out those in need through Santa's Anonymous.
Today we're having our very first fundraising event for Santa's Anonymous. It's always lots of fun. It's our Christmas market. So we have about 50 vendors here today that are coming in to sell their wares, and it's a great community event, and we're just thrilled to be here today. So we raise our money through this market by renting the tables to the vendors. So the vendors rent the tables from us. That's our pot for Santa's Anonymous. We've already made our money. So the vendors are here selling their wares for themselves. We just want them to have a great experience so that they'll return year after year.
Getting the vendors kind of getting their stuff in, we thought it was going to be the hardest, but it turned out it was one of the easiest because we had a lot of great volunteers show up early to help bring in anything and do anything the vendors had asked. A lot of people are less fortunate during the holidays, and to even see a smile on their faces, it warms our hearts. And that's all Santa's Anonymous is about, is just giving back.
For me, it's just a great feeling, doing all this work with people and working together.
This is my first year at the market, but I've lived in the community for 18 years, and I've always given in one way or another. And it's so nice to see all the kids out in the community doing everything today. They've been awesome helping unload. They've been going around asking us if we want coffee or anything. It's wonderful.
Fort McMurray is our home and it welcomed us, so if we can help in any way to give back, then we will. We love it here. Yeah, what she said.
Greetings. Welcome back to Community Producers. You're probably wondering why I'm dressed like this. That's because I'm an actor in the upcoming theater production of Christmas Carol, coming to Keyano Theatre. In this play, I'm playing Ebenezer Scrooge's nephew, Fred. In real life, we understand that the holiday season can actually be quite challenging to some people. There are resources in the community, however, to help those in emotional need. Businesses like Some Other Solutions, Society for Crisis Prevention, are there to help people who are in need of emotional support. If you call the Some Other Solutions Crisis Hotline any time of the day, you can share your story with them in a totally safe, totally confidential environment. Calling their crisis line just means dialing 780-743-4357. You can find out about Some Other Solutions at their website, someothersolutions.ca, and they can help you find other resources in the community to help you overcome life's challenges. Coming up next, we're going to sit down with a member from our community to discuss how his condition is not holding him back in life.
So cerebral palsy for me is another character trait that really changes kind of how I go ahead with my daily life. Luckily for me, it's like I still have very good control of my hands, very good control of my legs. I can only do so much before the body kind of has to, it's like, okay, we need to stop. You need to understand your pace. And throughout years of moving around, and especially in the field that we are, you figure out quickly what you're able to do and when you need to take those pauses. One of the biggest questions that I get from a lot of people is, how do you walk, or how are you moving around? Because I wear leg braces, and yes, they help, and they're very much needed, I guess, in the sense that without them, to get through the day from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. is difficult. People assume before they meet me is that my cerebral palsy defines me, you know, and I think that every person, however able-bodied they are, they're not defined by whatever disability they have. And they'll always ask me the first thing, it's like, why do you walk that way? Or what's wrong with your leg? I'll tell you a quick 5-second thing so that you feel like you've learned something today, but it's like my least favorite thing to just, that's not how you open up a conversation. You don't know anything about me by asking that. The Christmas Carol is such an interesting show to work on. It's a very difficult show to do, because everyone has their own idea of what this show is. Whether it's you've seen the animated version, or you've seen whatever version of the Scrooge story in your life. So as an actor and as a team, it's a welcome challenge to kind of knock down those preconceptions of the show and hope that you get entertainment out of it.
Dylan harnessed early the idea of digging deep into a character and asking questions. Why do I say this? What is my relationship to this other character? His love of just being in the theater, so he's always the first one to rehearsal. He's all about, hey, you're new, let's talk, let's find out what your story is, let's hang out. So he builds an incredible ensemble. I love a teen or young adult, I guess in Dylan's case now, that knows exactly what they want to do in their life and what they, and the vision that they have, and no fear. He's made a movie, he's made a small film on camera, I think behind the lens. He doesn't let his condition hold him back. That's it. And what we noticed about him first at Arts Trek is his commitment and his passion and his talent.
If I were to tell someone of any age who's been diagnosed or has to go through a surgery, you know, it's not over. Your life's not over. Your life has changed and it will change, but you're not done. I had 2 major leg surgeries in my life before I was 13. I have a strength to go back out into the world and prove to people that now that I have this card in my deck that makes it more difficult, I can prove to people that I can get over it.
Well, we're coming to the end of another segment of Community Producers. But before we go, I'd like to share with you a little bit more information about the upcoming Keyano Theatre 2017-2018 season. This season, Keyano College Theatre and Arts Center presents A Christmas Carol, The Drowsy Chaperone, and Nurse Jane Goes to Hawaii. A Christmas Carol will have 7 show dates with 1 matinee, while the musical, The Drowsy Chaperone, will have 6 show dates along with Nurse Jane Goes to Hawaii. The Drowsy Chaperone is a musical comedy based on the Roaring '20s, intended for a more mature audience. Opening night is February 16th, with the last show being February 24th. And lastly, Nurse Jane Goes to Hawaii is a comedy by Alan Stratton, with opening night happening on April 27th, with the last show taking place on May 5th. Auditions are yet to happen for this project. If interested in show information and auditions, head to keyanotheatre.ca for all the information. Coming up next, local Fort McMurray man helps out his fellow men by having a fun weekend with a little game I like to call hockey.
Today we're at the Casman Center in Fort McMurray, and what we're doing is it's a 24-hour hockey game in support of men's and boys' health for Movember Canada. So we decided that we wanted to put on a big 24-hour hockey game and support health awareness and raise a few dollars for a good cause. You know, we've got a big group of hockey players here. Some of them are dealing with issues such as family members with prostate or testicular cancer. Some friends that are playing hockey with me tonight, they've lost people to suicide. Men's and boys' health starts at a very, very young age, and nobody's immune to the issues that can come up.
We're here to spread the message that it's okay to not be okay, and to open up that conversation with everyone that's attending here and to help them get the help that they need and provide them access to the resources that we have available for them.
Sometimes with the community events we partner with, we're reaching a lot of women and we're reaching families, so it's really nice to connect with the men in our community and have conversations around mental wellness and our well-being with men.
Well, cancer runs in my family. I don't think there's a person yet on my mom's side that hasn't gotten it. My great-grandfather passed away last year from prostate cancer, so it was a big push to come out and help Movember, you know, try and do as much fundraising as I can and that kind of stuff. Heard about it through a friend of a friend and then instantly had to email Clinton. It was a good experience so far.
It feels good that my crazy idea has come to fruition, and so far the feedback has been great. Volunteers are happy, caterers are here, the food's hot. Hopefully it can grow, and with more exposure from social media and folks like yourself coming out, hopefully this can grow and there will be more members of the community and more local businesses that want to be a part of this.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for Community Producers. But if you would like to host a segment of Community Producers, simply contact Shaw TV at Shaw TV Fort McMurray at sjrb.ca. I've been your host, Justin Shaw. Or am I Fred? Justin? Fred? Justin? Fred? Method acting, it takes its toll on you. But what I do know that is true, totally true, is that the holiday season is a wonderful time of year. And even if your name is Ebenezer Scrooge, there's joy in your heart and joy in the community. Have a good one.